What's good, YouTube? Welcome to the channel. Welcome, Sixers fans in particular. And yes, I'm going to be talking about what if the Sixers don't land their third star. A lot of people are saying if you don't get the third star, it's going to be another first-round exit or second-round exit. There's no way we could compete with the Celtics. However, I disagree. I know some people may look at Brandon Ingram as a star, but I know a lot of people don't. So I think trading for a Brandon Ingram would be such a great trade for us at this point. Brandon Ingram's on his last year of his contract. He's making $36 million, which is a lot, you know what I mean? But I feel like the value that he brings as a young, almost all-star talent would be amazing for our roster. And I don't know if the Pelicans would want to give him a max deal or a big contract when that contract is expired. You might as well trade him for something instead of letting him leave for nothing. So I feel like this would be a win-win scenario for both teams. And if we don't when I think about Jimmy Butler coming to the Sixers, I talked about it in my last video. The fit, I don't see the fit. Like maybe 3 years ago there was a fit, but right now I just don't see a fit. And to pay this man a max contract, it's rough to build a whole roster around that, especially a guy who can't really shoot and a guy who needs the ball in his hands. Embiid needs the ball in his hands. Maxey doesn't really need the ball in his hands as much, but we want him, right? He's progressing as a player. We don't want to disrupt his growth, right? And I feel like signing someone like a Brandon Ingram, like he's similar to a Paul George, right? Paul George is a way better fit than Jimmy Butler, but Paul George is older. You know what I mean? I'd rather get a younger star. I'm done what we did with James Harden, right? Like we got to learn from our mistakes. We cannot sign a washed up player, right? We can't do that. And the thing with Brandon Ingram, if he doesn't play well, which I highly doubt it, playing with Embiid, I feel like would just help him. But if he doesn't play well, we don't have to re-sign him, right? Like he's under contract for a year. He plays out this year. We see how it goes. He's almost an all-star talent, right? And I'm talking about a guy who is a bucket getter. He's very similar to Paul George. I think he's a pretty I feel like he can play like an Andrew Wiggins type of game when he was on the Warriors. He was their third guy. He was the guy who was their glue guy. He was their defender. He gave them rebounds. He shot threes. He yammed on people. That's what Brandon Ingram is. So, I think Daryl Morey, this should be on the top of his mind. Like, you know what I mean? You're still going to be able to extend Tyrese Maxey, even give an extension to Joel Embiid, right? Like, you can still do these things, and you can build a whole roster instead of trading for Jimmy Butler and then extending his contract. Like, no, we can't do that. We can't, right? And then there's guys like a Malik Monk, an OG Anunoby that we can, just throw into our roster and just make our team. Like, these are stars. I look at them like, yeah, these are star role players. Like, these guys can win you a game in the playoffs, right? Like, Malik Monk can catch fire and shoot 3 threes. It's easy 9 points, and then he gets 2 midi. Like, you know what I mean? Like, we need players that can change the game and be game changers. Tobias Harris is not a game changer, right? You replace Tobias Harris with Brandon Ingram, yeah, Brandon Ingram is not going to average 10 points in the playoff series. Or no, Tobias averaged under 10. Like, Brandon Ingram is not going to do that. He's not. There's no way. If he does that, I'm not a Sixers fan. If he comes to the Sixers team and he averages 8 points in the playoffs, I can't be a Sixers fan anymore. And there's still many options in the free agency, right? There's a KCP, Pope. I don't know how to say his name. Kentavious Caldwell-Pope. There you go. I don't know why I didn't try. Sometimes you just got to try in life. But yeah, there's KCP. There's Klay Thompson, Malik Monk. Like, these are guys that we can sign. And Klay Thompson, if Klay Thompson's not asking for $20 million, come on, bro. Be generous and help the Sixers out. Come on a team-friendly deal. Like, if he did that, that would be an amazing signing, right? But obviously, he's probably going to want pretty much a bag. But he's a great shooter. Klay Thompson's probably a great player to have with an Embiid and a Tyrese Maxey. Oh, imagine Tyrese Maxey, Klay Thompson at the shooting guard. You know what I mean? Like, just catch and shoot threes. Oh, that's amazing, actually. That would be amazing. We got speed as Tyrese Maxey. You know what I mean? That's basically like a Splash Bros. That's like a Curry and a Klay Thompson again. Honestly, I think we should sign a Klay Thompson. I don't know how much he's asking for, but I think that would be a pretty great trade signing for us. Same with Malik Monk. I think Malik Monk can develop into a starter type player. I don't know how his defense is. I don't really watch. What team was he on? Was he on the Kings? I think he was on the Kings. I didn't really watch him, so I don't know if he's great defensively, but I've seen his offensive highlights. I've seen some games where he drops a 20 piece, so he's a solid player. He's a solid player to have. I mean, there's players that are even below these guys. You can talk about like a Caleb Martin, right? Kyle Anderson, Monte Morris, Reggie Jackson, Precious Achiuwa. Precious Achiuwa. I would take Precious Achiuwa. A nice power forward, semi-stretch big. He played on the Knicks. He did pretty good against us when, what's his name? Their big guy got hurt. Mitchell Robinson. He stepped up and played great for them. There's also a Malik Beasley that you could get. Also, Andre Drummond. I feel like Andre Drummond's a guy that we should, like, that should be the first call. Andre Drummond, you just come back to Philly, bro. He'd be like, no, of course. Of course. Bro, I remember when we had Andre Drummond, that was probably one of the most, like, I wouldn't say dominant we were, but, like, when it comes to, like, rebounding and just, like, the force that we had, like, when Embiid left, we had a guy who was as big as Embiid. Like, better rebounder than Embiid. You know what I mean? Like, it was just, I want to feel that again, all right? Like, I want to. I don't want to see Embiid leave and then we just suck. But, I mean, if we don't sign a big man at all in this offseason, Daryl Morey must be fired. I mean, this is Daryl Morey's last chance, right? This has to be his last chance. He had so many opportunities. He's had Embiid, one of the best players in the league. He's had his MVP year. He's had Tyrese Maxey blossom into one of the best guards in the league. If you can't get this done, if you can't get us past the second round, then you cannot be our GM. I'm sorry. You've gotten too many opportunities. You traded Ben Simmons. We could have gotten a Tyrese Halliburton and Buddy Hield for Ben Simmons. But you didn't do that. You wanted to get James Harden instead. And now look where we are. We don't even have Harden. We traded Harden for fucking Batum. That's crazy. Please, man. This is our last opportunity, our last try. We got to get Embiid this ring, and we got to give Philly a ring. All right, we deserve it at this point. I watched so many years of us sucking for us not to make it to the finals when we have an all-time player. Okay? Let's go wrap it up for this video. I'm going to bring up some more prospects in my next video because there's a lot of big men that I think we should draft as well. But yeah, that's going to be it for this video. If you enjoyed, drop a like, subscribe to my channel, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.